Say Saraswati Deve Gaurhavani Pracharine Nirvise Sashunyavadi Paskatyade Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krišna, Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhangsa Brahmadakacharya Asadhara Sudushi Shiman His Divine Grace Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Smaraj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Haribo Slava Zabrani Bhakta Slava Shigurui Shigarangi Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyade Satarne. Did I miss some classes? I missed 3 classes here. We're on 56. Who gave class the last time in Bhagavad Gita? What verse did you give it?
No, that was like 54.
Oh, you did 55 also. Okay, no, it was 56. Om Agana Tumanandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shigaro Shiyuta Padakamalam Igurum Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapa Dhruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranitinanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivastiti Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, text number 56. Dukeshvanudvignamana Sukeshu Vigataspriha Vita Raga Bhayakroda Stitadira Munir Uchate Dukeshva Dukesh va nu vinagmanak. Sukeshu vigataspriha. Vitaraga bayakroda. Stitidira muni uchite. Usvihaspriya. Vitaraga bayakroda. Stitidira muni. Ladies. Dukeshva vunamanak. Vikeshu vigataspriha. Vitaraga bayakroda. Stitidiramuni uchate. Dukeshu. In the threefold miseries. Anuvignamana. Without being agitated in mind. It's plugged in. I thought maybe it's something different. At least it's getting electricity, so maybe it's getting charged up. Sukeshu. In happiness. Vigataspriha. Without being interested. Vita, free from. Raga, attachment. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, and anger. Stitidi, whose mind is steady. Muni, a sage. Uchite, is called. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One who is not disturbed in mind, even in the midst of the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and is freed from attachment, fear, and anger, is called the sage of steady mind. Please repeat. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and is free from attachment, fear, and anger. It's called the sage of steady mind. Srila Prabhupada's purport, the word muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that every muni has a different angle of vision. Unless a muni differs from other munis, he cannot be called a muni in the strict sense of the term. Nesavri shir yasya matam navinam. Mahabharata, Vanaparva, 313 to 117. But a Sita Dear Muni is mentioned herein by the Lord, is different from an ordinary Muni. The Sita Dear Muni is always in Krishna consciousness, for he has exhausted all his business of creative speculation. He is called Prasanta Nishesha Mano Nirantara. Strotra Ratna 43, or one who has surpassed the stage of mental speculations, has come to the conclusion that Lord Sri Krishna or Vasudev is everything. Vasudev Sarvamiti Sar Mahatma Sudurlabhaha. He is called a muni, fixed in mind. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries. For he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds. And he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest. Similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. And for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, Krishna-conscious person is always steady in his determination. So the verse again, Dukesh vanud vina manak sukeshu vigatas priha vitaraga bayakroda stitidira muni uchite. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is freed from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskadyade Satarane. Arjuna had asked about what's the symptom of a self-realized person. Because previous to that, Arjuna had already, or Krishna had already rejected the Vedas, dealing with karma kanda, trying to get some sense gratification in the material world, jnana kanda, trying to speculate about what reality is, upasana kanda, trying to merge into Brahman, and then there's others. There's the Upanishads, etc., which deal with transcendence. So now Arjuna asks, Stita Bragasya Kabha Shah, Samadhi Stasya Keshava, Stita Dira Muni Uchite. Arjuna Vacha, Stita Bragasya Kabha Shah, Samadhi Stasya Keshava, Stita Di Kim Praja, Stita Di Kim Bhasheta Kim Asita Prajeta Kim. So Arjuna wants to know, how do you know if someone's self-realized? How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he talk? And what is his language? So Krishna answers these questions, but in a rather unexpected way. How he sits, how he talks, how he walks, is explained in these verses, beginning with Prajahati Yada Kaman, Sarvan Partha Manogatan, Atmani Vatmana Stita Tushta. Atmani Vatmana Tushta Stita Dir Una Uchate. Stita Pragyasta Uchate. So how is his mind actually answered here? Tushati. Does anyone remember any verse that had tushati in it? What? Tushati means what? Satisfaction. Machita machkata prana, bodhiyantaj parashparam, katayantaj shramam nityam, tushanti cha ramanti cha. So many verses in Bhagavad Gita talk about tushanti. And then we can understand that this tushanti must be on a level below nishta. Because after nishta, there is ruchi, which is rasa, beginning of rasa. And rasa is, in that particular verse, well, somewhere in there, the machita machkata prana boniyantash parashparam gatayantash tushanti cha ramanti. Ramanti means transcendental pleasure. Joy, what's that? Joyfulness. So here Krishna is talking about Prajahati Yada Kaman, Saram Partha Manogatan, Anmani Vatmana Tushta Stita Pragyasta Tochite. So in the second chapter, Krishna, which is a summarization of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will summarize the summary of the Bhagavad Gita in the last few verses, where he says, Apuryamanam achala pratishtam, samudram apa pravishanti advat, tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve, seshanti matnotina kamakami. Person is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is always being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So what does that mean? Chant Hare Krishna, pay attention. That's what it means. And no matter what comes to the mind, just let it flow by. And then when we become perfect, when we become liberated, just by doing that, we don't have to do anything else. Just chant Hare Krishna and don't pay attention to whatever our mind thinks about. Especially it's in the realm of not everything we should forget about. Prajahati yadat kaman, things that have to do with sense gratification. Prajahati yadat kaman, sarvan parata manogatan. Sarvan gatan, what does gatan mean? Everywhere. Of all varieties of manogatan, wherever the mind wanders to. Mental concoction. Gata means, in Hindi, gachati, what? To go. Cello. So gachan is the same thing in Sanskrit. Where the mind goes to, just neglect it. We're not the mind. And instead, we should think about the Lord within oneself, and in our case, the Lord's there in the holy name. We just have enough faith that Krishna is there in the holy name, and just listen to the holy name and neglect everything else. Then, stita dir muni tadochite, stita pragyasya tochite. Then we'll actually become satisfied. Now we may not roll on the ground during japa time in ecstasy, but we'll get some satisfaction from that. Some steps towards liberation. Liberation from what? What are we trying to liberate from our minds? What mind? The mind that's wandering over sense gratification. That's all. Our philosophy is really simple. The process is simple. And if we understand it, everything becomes simple. And if we practice it, then it becomes even more simple. And here, what is the mind going to tell us? Oh, you're unhappy. Just listen to your heart. How do you feel right now? I feel miserable. You're unhappy. So, yeah, I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. And anuvigna, without being agitated in mind. So the mind may be saying we're unhappy, but not to be agitated. Oh my God, I'm unhappy. I should go and yell and scream and take it out on someone. Sukhechuva vigatasmi. Oh, I'm feeling happy now. I should go out and tell everyone how happy I am. I should eat extra ice cream and pizza and cake and everything because I feel so good today. And vita raga vayakroda. To give up what? We're entangled because of the mind. And what is the entangle of the mind? It starts with avidya. Avidya means we're in ignorance. We don't know reality. We don't really know what's going on. But we're accepting the false reality is real. And because of that, we're getting entangled in it. And from avidya comes asmita. As soon as we accept avidya is true, then we get a false ego. Material nature is so kind, she donates one to us. Every lifetime she donates our false ego. And then we not only are in ignorance, we don't know what's going on, but we create a whole imaginary world for ourselves and take it really seriously, that this is reality. I'm going to die. I better do something about it. I better, And it's from asmita, as soon as we get asmita, along with asmita, we automatically get rag and dvesha, which are mentioned here, or rag and krodha. We automatically get attachment to things. Just like even a baby, you put something in his hand, immediately it becomes attached to it. Can't get it out. So as soon as we look at some object that we're attracted to, immediately we're attached to it. We can't give it up. I'm in love. And then when we find out our love doesn't love us, then we become angry. What? You rascal. May you dwell in the darkest regions forever. You insulted me, not aparad against Radharani. Stita dira muni uchate. So if we can give up this, as soon as there's asmita, then there's rag and dvesha, and then automatically comes, or in the course of time, comes biniveshata, which here is translated as bhaya. I'm going to die. My loved one left me. I'm going to starve to death. I have no money. Who's going to protect me now? Even my dog left. I'm finished. Who can protect me? So as soon as we accept this body and become absorbed in it, what do we get as an exchange? Simply a life of fear. I have nothing, Anyhow, then stita der muni uchate. When we just chant Hare Krishna and listen, or listen to our philosophy, or take any of this part of philosophy seriously, then we become a stita der muni. Then we become fixed in knowledge. Our mind becomes fixed. We don't accept all this nonsense going through our mind. It comes and goes. Instead, we ask Krishna, what should I do? Listen to your chanting of Hare Krishna. Don't worry about it. The building won't fall apart, even if you chant Hare Krishna with attention. You don't have to hold up the building like Krishna with your left pinky. Make sure the ceiling doesn't fall in. I can't chant Hare Krishna, I better hold up the ceiling. So, and then when things are going nicely, my mind feels good, then I feel a little less fear, then it's time to enjoy. What better time to enjoy? That we may die tomorrow, but let's party today. So that's the mind's trick. Everything but Krishna consciousness. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, I think when we wake up in the morning, we're supposed to beat the mind with a shoe 100 times. And before we take rest, we're supposed to beat it with a broom 100 times. So I have a couple extra shoes I got, so if any needs one. I think we have to buy some extra brooms, though. So, and the other thing is we have to hear about Krishna. If we just chant Hare Krishna, that's nice, because if we sincerely chant Hare Krishna, Krishna will reveal himself to us. But without studying the philosophy, who's going to believe in Krishna? We may chant Hare Krishna for some time without reading the philosophy, then we'll keep on thinking it's imagination. We chant Hare Krishna unless we worship the deities. And we read the books. What is there to remember about Krishna? Maybe a very, very advanced devotee, they saw the Lord once and they remember him forever. But we don't have such a vision. So we have to hear the philosophy. Or else we'll get tricked. We won't listen to the holy name. We won't know that's what we're supposed to do. How do we learn that we're supposed to chant the holy name? Because we're supposed to recite the 10 offenses once in a while, like in attentive chanting. Or when we walk by this picture in the frame, would you think, well, what's in this frame? A little curiosity. Can anyone tell me what these two frames are? What's in it? After being here for a couple of years? You know what's in? What's in these two frames here?
Yeah, the original writings from Srila Prabhupada. So about the offenses and about what devotees should do daily.
Okay, what should they do daily?
Well, they should chant Hare Krishna, attend the programs morning, evening.
What shouldn't they do? What shouldn't they do?
What they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
They should.
Oh, no, this is cheating. No.
So there is a list of offenses, so they should avoid offenses towards the.
No, now you're talking about the 10 offenses. Yeah.
What should they avoid?
Yeah.
Daily.
You don't know. Okay, why don't you read what, like frivolous sports, what else?
Cinema, sports,
What's that?
any kind of
Association with non-devotees. Well, are you translating or just reading? But you have to read.
Okay. First in English, okay. All initiated devotees must attend morning and evening classes.
All right, Sadhana Kita.
Must not be addicted to any kind of intoxicants, including coffee, tea, and cigarettes. They are forbidden to have illicit sex. Illicit sex. Must be strictly vegetarian.
Why don't you give it to me? Give it to me. Give me the... All initiated notice. Everyone notice? So far we haven't noticed it. All initiated devotees must attend morning and evening classes. So don't get initiated until you attend these programs. Must not be addicted to any kind of intoxicants, including coffee and tea and cigarettes. Are forbidden from having illicit sexual connections. Must be strictly vegetarian. Shouldn't extensively mix with non-devotees. Should not eat foodstuff cooked by non-devotees. Should not waste time in idle talks, nor engage himself in frivolous sports. Should always chant and sing the Lord's holy names. Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. International Society for Krishna Consciousness, 26 Second Avenue, New York, New York, dated November 25, 1966. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Acharya. Well, it's a good thing I read it, otherwise we would have spent our whole lives without noticing it. Hopefully when we come by these pictures, we notice them there. Krishna's there. And I'll read the 10 offenses because this is a little different when we usually hear it. 10 kinds of offenses should be avoided while chanting the Maha Mantra. List of the offenses. Blaspheming the Lord's devotee. Considering this is all part of number 1. I think it's number 2, which is considering the Lord and the demigods on the same level, or to understand that there are many gods. Neglect the orders of the spiritual master. 4, minimizing the authority of scriptures, Vedas. 5, interpreting the holy name of God. 6, committing sin on the strength of chanting. 7, instructing glories of the holy name to the unfaithful. 8, comparing the holy name with material piety. 9, to become inattentive while chanting the holy name. 10, attachment to material things in spite of chanting the holy name. So we have a slightly different order slightly different 10 offenses. But that's all right. The 10 offenses that we usually recite, that's from the Nectar of Devotion. Any questions? Everyone paid attention? She has a question. No, you ask. You got the microphone.
So you said that we can chant the holy name and we can read the books, but if we don't worship the deities, then we will not have whom to remember.
No. What I said is, we chant Hare Krišna and we don't read the books and worship the deities, serve the devotees, and make the atmosphere spiritual, then it's very unlikely we're going to be able to chant Hare Krišna successfully and remember that the name will not turn into the form if we never see what the form looks like or hear about the form or serve the forms, either the devotees, or if we don't utilize Krishna's energies and engage them in Krishna's service, then it's very unlikely we'll become pure enough to be able to remember Krishna's forms when we're chanting, and then feel his presence, and then remember his associates, and remember his pastimes. That won't be very easy to do. Of course, it's possible if we purely chant Hare Krishna, but if we purely chant Hare Krishna, we'll probably serve the devotees, serve the deities, hear about Krishna. But that's really usually for a Paramahamsa who can just sit down and chant chant Hare Krishna, and that's all he has to do. The rest of us, we have to worship the deities, read the books, serve the devotees, and preach, make the atmosphere spiritual.
So the question, because it's related to this, what devotees must do about attending the programs and such. And I want to ask, because this seems to be like the first thing Prabhupada said on that list, that what initiated devotees must do, that they must attend the programs where the aratis, the worship is done. So he did not start with the chant, although the chanting is there, but he did not start with that. He did not start with the book. He started with this, with the worship of the deities, with must attend the morning
also,
program.
worship of the deities attend the program includes the chanting Hare Krishna, reading the books, serving the devotees, and making the atmosphere spiritual.
So the question is, how can devotees, who don't have the possibility to come to the morning program, to the evening program, how can they benefit from the same quality of programs, even if they do at home? Because it's not the same as worshipping the deities here.
The good news is that Krishna is in your home also. All you do is have to have a little picture of Krishna, and that's the deity. You can have Panchatattva, a picture of Panchatattva. And they're there, just as they're here on the altar, they're also in the picture. There's no difference between the Panchatattva in the picture and the Panchatattva as the deity, or the Panchatattva when they came 5,000 years ago. Krishna's there. He's even there when the sound vibration. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. You can also worship the holy name. But anyhow, as far as a picture, which we need, a picture, Krishna can be manifested in 7 different ways, I believe. One of them is by sand, another is by stone, another one in the mind, by wood. So Krishna can manifest himself in a picture too, painted picture of himself.
So what I want to ask, what was Prabhupada's opinion about devotees not attending the programs at the temple and doing at home?
Good.
So it's exactly the same? There's
Well, if
no
you live
requirement?
next door to the deities, it's probably a good idea to just walk over to see the deities. Probably didn't like the idea that when householders had deities at home, they lived across the street from the temple, because it took away from the service of the deities. But if you live if there's no temple nearby, then
okay,
you can have
then
it.
that's obvious, yes. But no, I mean, like, if you're here, for example, in the city or something, would it be better to, I don't know, just worship at home because it's easier? Or make the effort to come even if you're not living in the temple?
Make the effort to come if you can. I mean, generally speaking, previously, although this is not practical now, but previously, when there was a temple, the householders bought houses near the temple, so they could attend the program. But now it's not, but may not be practical sometimes, and sometimes the householders don't take it so seriously to attend the program. Therefore, they don't care where the house is that they buy. But if they can't buy a house near the temple, then they can have a morning program in their house. You don't have to have a whole lot of devotees there. Just you and your wife and your children is enough if they can come. And if your wife doesn't want to come, your husband doesn't want to come, and the children, then just do it yourself. Just chant, listen to yourself chanting. There's no hard and fast rules for chanting in the holy name. There's no impediment. We just mentally make an impediment.
Thank you.
In this verse, Arjuna is asking Krishna about the symptoms of self-realized soul. One of the question he's putting is that how does he walk? So can you explain on that?
Yeah. Now there's a commentary that explains how they fit together, but I haven't read that commentary for a long time, so I'd just be speculating because it's pretty esoteric. How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he talk? And what is his language? Each one of these verses answers one of those questions, but I would just be speculating. There is a commentary we could look up, and I think even Burjan mentions that his book, Surrender Unto Me, how they equate, but I can't tell you right now.
I was hearing a lecture on this verse, because in the following verses, Lord Krishna is answering Arjuna, like,
How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he talk? And what's his language?
Walking is, I'm confused, but talking was that he doesn't talk any prajalpa, yeah. And how does it? One of them is that he doesn't make any plans. I mean, I was also hearing the lecture on these verses of Srila Prabhupada, and he says that that person does not make any plans as such, because we all are busy making different plans for our future and so forth. But this person is not making plans as such for himself.
You don't make plans during the day when to go to Prashana?
No, not that way. Of course, I mean, the same thing I mentioned also when I give that obviously the person we have to make some plan because it regulates us, and then we know, okay, what all activities we have to do, but because we are dovetailing those activities in Krishna consciousness. So the lecture which I was hearing was saying that although the person, he does make some plans, but he dovetails his activities into Krishna consciousness. He doesn't just make any plan just for himself as such. So I think this is one, and anyhow, for walking, I was also a bit confused on this.
Yeah, well, I believe there is a commentary that equates the different verses for what Arjuna asked him. I mean, Krishna is not, after speaking this since time immemorial, it's not that he spaced out and he decided to answer some other question of Arjuna. So there is something about one of these verses answers how does he sit, how does he talk, how does he walk, and what's his language. That's what the verses are meant for. But it's a little bit more subtle, though. Obviously, it's not just walking down the street. It's not just talking. But I have to look it up. I can't say.
There was this lecture. I forgot the name of the devotee called Chaitanya Charan Prabhu.
Maybe.
I think he's from Mumbai. Oh, yeah, Pune, I think, or South India. So he's very. When I hear his lectures, the way he teaches. He has so much learning and goes really deep in the verses. And actually, before giving the lecture, I heard his lecture, and it completely changed my way of understanding these verses, because he really divided into different parts and really went deeply in the verse. And even this one, how does he talk? Kind of like I heard from him and then understood much.
So which verses, how does he talk?
Gurudev, these are following verses. I mean, he divided like into 4 parts. One was bhasha, which is language. So that he said that this is the one for the talk. I have in my laptop, I can send you.
Okay, but okay, we have to see what the Acharya said also.
Because he divided he said this verse till this verse is talking about this, and then this verse and this till this verse is talking about this topic. This, how does he sit, how does he talk, like this.
Yeah, sure, that's what I'm talking about. Sure, that's good. Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna. It's not from the class today. Some days ago you were mentioning that in the Vedic culture not everyone will have brahmachari training. And
in the Vedic culture, not everyone. Yeah, that's right.
Like only the upper classes or something.
Yeah, they didn't go to only the Kshatriyas and the Brahmins went to Gurukul.
And the question I was thinking, how would this apply for us? Because probably no one is Kshatriya and Brahmana, but on the other side, if you want to have good grihastas, there has to be some sort of brahmachari training.
Prabhupada came to this chanting Hare Krishna, as Prabhupada said, elevates one quickly to the Brahminical platform. So Obviously, before we start chanting Hare Krishna, most of us weren't good brahmacharis. On the other hand, after chanting Hare Krishna, we're becoming better brahmacharis. So we're becoming elevated very quickly to the level of brahmachari. And that's all. It's not that. Prabhupada gave the example, if your mother was naked when she was a child, it doesn't mean she has to walk around naked now. So the idea is that maybe previously we weren't very good, we weren't very elevated in the Varna and ashram system, but by the process we're becoming elevated. We're coming to the mode of goodness. So, or even Kshatriya is not purely in goodness, they're in passion also. Usually a mixture of passion and goodness. So, we're becoming elevated. So that's otherwise we wouldn't be here. I mean, how many people want to move into the Hare Krishna temple so they can be celibate? They can only eat vegetarian food. They can't go and see movies and whatever. How many people want to do that? Obey the orders of the temple president. We're training them to do that. Anything else? Hvala. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.